evening, everyone. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Murshid, and I will be your MC for tonight. Let me break the ice here. I had to shave my facial hair for tonight. It took me 9 months. I was going by trimesters. My first baby. I'm gonna start with a little intro about myself. I graduated out of Dearborn High School last year. I can see a few familiar faces. Now I'm attending Wayne State. I'm just finishing up my freshman year. I'm majoring in public health and pursuing a pre-medical track. Now, on behalf of the American Association of Yemeni Students and Professionals, we do have a long name. I would like to welcome you all to our 9th annual scholarship ceremony. Throughout the evening, we will be recognizing students, community members, leaders that have demonstrated their commitment to education and the success of our growing community. Our exceptional students have a track record of success and the potential to reach great heights. That is why we're here as an organization, supporting them along their way, along their journeys, as they break barriers and succeed in ways we could have never imagined. A stronger Yemeni community begins in this room, filled with bright minds, hope, and lasting commitment to excellence in education, career, and community. They are a reflection of us as mentors, educators, friends, family, and supporters. It is our duty to guide them, encourage them, and recognize how far they have come. You know, last year I was sitting there among the recipients, proudly representing my family. I felt that my community had served me. My community pushed me one step closer to my goal. My community gave me the confidence I needed. Now, I stand before you all in hopes of giving back. Together as AAYSP and together as a community, we want each and one of our students to feel like they are closer to reaching their goals. That their community is here to fill them with confidence and support, just like I did, and just like I had. So, without further ado, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our scholarship recipients, their families, and our gracious sponsors and esteemed guests for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the program. We're going to start with AAYSP's president giving a quick overview of the organization and a recap of the yearly events held by AAYSP. Please help me in welcoming my colleague, my friend, and my older brother, our current president of the AAYSP.
Welcome, everyone. I'd like to thank Rajik for the warm welcome. And I'd like to start briefly by introducing myself. I have been a part of AAYSP since my freshman year of college, fall of 2016. For the past 2 years, it has been an immense pleasure volunteering alongside my peers and educators and professionals to promote the mission of attaining higher education. As we begin the new school year, I was granted the opportunity to become the new president. As our previous president, a good friend and great mentor of mine, Muhammad had to step away because he began a new journey in his life. He began attending Oakland University William Beaumont School of Medicine. Fortunately, I was given the opportunity to become the new president, but with that, I understood came new responsibility and challenges. At the time, I believed I wasn't ready to bear these responsibilities and challenges. Fortunately, as I look back, I could not have been happier to accept my new role. Being the president of this wonderful organization has allowed me, as a young adult, to grow in ways I never thought I could. I have helped build relationships with peers, community members, educators, and most importantly, our students. And this year has been a rewarding experience, especially seeing the impact that we at AAYSP have made upon the youth. I graduated from Ford High School in 2016 and then moved on to Henry Ford College for 1 year. I then transferred to Wayne State University and am currently majoring in nutrition and food science with an emphasis on the pre-medical track. Growing up, It was a bit difficult finding someone for advice or to be mentored on certain topics, especially regarding higher education. There were not many resources in our community at the time for me or my peers to consult. But as I was growing up, especially throughout middle school and high school, this organization always stood out to me as this was when it was most active. And throughout the years, beginning in 2012, when I was in 8th grade and finishing up middle school, we were taken on the first AAYSP campus tour at Wayne State University. For me, that made a lasting impact because it made the dream of attending college tangible. As I walked through the libraries, the buildings, schools, and dorms, I realized that this is something I want to be doing as a young adult and in a way to advance in my life. This organization is filled with a majority of college students who have all volunteered their time for this mission. They all made this their job while knowing that they are working for a nonprofit in an unpaid position. Despite this, they always find a way to make their activities appear a priority while having many other responsibilities, whether it's school, work, or most importantly, responsibilities at home. And I wanted to give a round of applause for all the members of AAYSP. This event would not be possible if one of I would also like to thank the local businesses and sponsors and donors that have contributed to our event and our educators in attendance here. AAYSP is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with a mission of promoting higher education and to break sociocultural barriers within the Yemeni American community. There are three currently chapters across the country. Here, we have one in Michigan, we also have one in California, and our third one is in Buffalo, New York. At this chapter, we run various programs throughout the year. Now, I'll briefly describe these programs to you. We have started the Etzelford High School mentoring program over 4 years ago. We have collaborated with Dearborn Public Schools, specifically for Etzelford High School, to have a mentoring session once a month during the school year. Each session is tailored to suit the needs of the students at the time. Mr. Karim Naimi is the one who has helped make it happen at Etzelford for the past few years, and we have received many positive feedbacks from both students and staff. We'd like to thank him for that. We hope to continue this next year. And now I would like to ask all of our mentors in the audience to please stand up for a round of applause. Thank you. With the help of Dearborn Public Schools with transportation, we are able to give free campus tours to students interested in attending. Our latest tour was conducted at Wayne State University, where we took students from our mentoring session and showed them around Wayne State in Midtown. In a few weeks, we will also be taking our 8th grade students from Salina Intermediate on a campus tour. That will be a special one for me, as I'll be able to pay it forward for the opportunity that was given to me as an 8th grader 6 years ago to attend such a tour. The next program is the community meeting. This was established in 2011 to facilitate a regularly scheduled community meeting with school administration. And in the meeting, we are able to have a dialogue and address community concerns regarding students and schools. This meeting includes Dr. Glenn Mileko, the superintendent of Dearborn Public Schools, directors, and school principals. I just want to thank the sponsors again and everyone else who has joined us today. I hope we all continue to work together to make a positive impact in this community. I would like for all the educators in attendance today to stand for a round of applause. We usually do not change the agenda of the event, but we have to tonight for a special reason. We were all saddened to hear the passing of Brian Winston earlier this week. And I would like to ask Adib Marzib to say a few words on our behalf.
Good evening. This week, the state of Michigan lost a true champion and a fighter for public education. Mr. Brian Winston, who was a former Dearborn Public School superintendent and was the state of Michigan superintendent, died this week. Many of us in this room know Brian at a professional level and at a personal level. Brian was a remarkable leader with a deep passion for education and immense ability to solve problems and get things done for the best interest of the students. We at this organization worked closely with Mr. Winston when he was Dearborn Public School superintendent for many years. Our goal was to make Dearborn Public School a better school, and that was his goal as well. Schools that are more open, inclusive, equitable, and also excellence schools. And he was always willing to work with us and to make a positive impact in the students' experience and the schools, improve the school environments. We used to come to Brian with many issues. We questioned a lot of things. We come to him with problems and also ideas. We find him always willing to listen, negotiate, work together to make things work better for the students. He was somebody that you can depend on, and he always, when he promised, he delivered. He was a man of his word with a big heart. We did not always agree with him or with his ideas, but he always was professional and considerate. Brian was a pioneer in education leadership, where he started many unique programs and initiatives that are now helping students thrive throughout their public school and throughout the state. Just to give you an example of one program, the Henry Ford Collegiate Academy, a program that gives qualified district students an opportunity to achieve high school diploma and an associate degree in 5 years at no cost to the students, and they still remaining active students in their high school. Mr. Winston was recognized by many organizations and was named Superintendent of the Year in 2014 by Michigan Association of School Administrators for his hard work, leadership, innovation, and collaborative efforts. We lost an educator, a leader, and a friend. Our thought and prayers are with his family and friends. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now I'd like to, we would be starting recognizing some of the teachers who have been contributing to the success of students. Please welcome Hansa, who will be introducing the first recipients of the Teacher of the Award.
The first recipient of the Teacher of the Year Award goes to Mr. Keith Ridzik from Edsel Ford High School. Mr. Ridzik began working at Edsel Ford in the fall of 1996. His undergraduate studies at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor were in accounting and political science, but he went on to complete a major in English. He then completed his master's degree in certification classes at Wayne State University. Mr. Ridzik's background allowed him to begin his teaching career at Edsel Ford by becoming involved in a variety of programs from the very beginning. He immediately began teaching 11th grade English and then was made a part of the team teaching in the PACE program and was handed control of the journalism program. Mr. Ridzik was also put in charge of Edsel Ford's student newspaper, The Bolt. During the last 5 or 6 years, he has moved away from the journalism program to focus on expanding the advanced placement language and composition program. Away from Edsel Ford, he has had the pleasure to coach varsity as an assistant coach, associate head coach, and head coaches at places such as Divine Child, Romulus, and currently Belleville High School. Please help me giving another round of applause for Mr. Ridzik. The second recipient of the Teacher of the Year Award is Ms. Tara Haddad from Edsel Ford High School. Ms. Haddad taught in Dearborn Public Schools for over 15 years and is a proud product of Dearborn Public Schools, having graduated from Edsel Ford High School in 1997. She received her bachelor's degree in biology and master's in secondary education. She ran track and cross country in college and was an All-American in cross country. For the last 6 years, she has served as a 9th grade lead teacher at Edsel Ford High School. The position was created to help students adjust and transition to high school and get the most out of their 4 years there. She's also the coordinator for the Link Crew Mentoring Program. And the PBIS coach. She also coached boys and girls track and cross country at Edsel Ford High School. She also teaches social justice at Edsel Ford and helps organize and plan Edsel Ford's Charity Week, which is an annual event where the students and staff raise funds for a selected charity. Please help me giving another round of applause for Ms. Haddad. The third recipient of the Teacher of the Year Award is Ms. Ala Mahmoud at International Islamic Academy. The social sciences have always been Ms. Mahmoud's passion, with the history more so than other topics in the field. She received her Bachelor's of Science in History and a minor in Medieval and Renaissance Studies from the University of Michigan, Dearborn. During her last semester in university, she taught secondary social studies at the International Islamic Academy. This was a fun experience for her as she was able to incorporate her studies that she was currently learning into her own lesson plans for her students. Together with her students, she was able to explore these topics. After graduation, she obtained a full-time position at IIA. With her wonderful students, Ms. Mahmoud oftentimes brainstorms fun and educational school activities together. One large project they were successful in creating was a museum of Western art ranging between the 15th century to modern day art. Currently, she also assists students as a student council advisor. She teaches her class treasurer proper budgeting, the class secretary organizational skills, and the president and vice president appropriate leadership skills amongst their peers. Please help me in giving another round of applause to Ms. Mahmoud. The fourth recipient of the Teacher of the Year Award is Cecilia Dietrich from Melvindale High School. Ms. Cecilia Dietrich did not always plan to be a teacher. She earned her Bachelor's of Science in Biology in 1984 from the Catholic University of America and her Master's of Education and Athletic Training in 1986 from Old Dominion University. She returned to school in 1992 and earned her biology teaching certificate through Ashland University. Ms. Dietrich has been employed at Melvindale High School since 2002. In her 16 years at MI.USA, she has taught 9th grade biology, advanced biology, forensics, health, and medical terminology. She also moderates the science club in the National Honor Society. Ms. Dietrich's goals as an educator is to continually open her students' minds to the wonders of science and to help them discover and develop the skills needed to successfully navigate through their high school years. Her career highlights come from building relationships with her students. She's an avid supporter of their scholastic, athletic, cultural, and artistic pursuits. Ms. Dietrich's family has grown to include teens from a wide array of cultures, ethnicities, religions, and family backgrounds. She has been truly blessed to share in so many of her students' journeys. Please help me in giving her another round of applause to Ms. Dietrich. The fifth recipient of the Teacher of the Year Award is Ms. Lynn Emery from Strong Middle School. Ms. Lynn Emery has been teaching American history and world history at Strong Middle School in Melvindale since 2012. She received a bachelor's degree in elementary education from Eastern Michigan University in 1992 and returned to Eastern to complete a master's in reading in 1999. While teaching at Strong Middle School, Lynn Emery continued her education, ultimately receiving a master's in teaching English to speakers of other languages in 2018. Ms. Emery's current students are English language learners who have recently resided in the United States within the last 3 years. Her students differ in culture, language, learning styles, and socioeconomic backgrounds. They speak many languages, have diverse ability levels, and offer many challenges that provide opportunities to allow her excellence to shine. Ms. Emery is committed to forming relationships with her students, pushing them daily to believe in themselves and succeed in the classroom and beyond. She is devoted to her students and has long been their strongest advocate, earnestly ensuring that they have the best advantages middle school education can provide. Please help me in giving another round of applause to Ms. Lynn Emery. The sixth and final recipient of the Teacher of the Year Award is Mr. Abdul Nasser Ahmad from Salina Intermediate. Mr. Abdul Nasser Ahmad is a teacher who has been with Dearborn Public Schools since 1994. He has taught almost all subjects such as math, science, social studies, English, language arts, Arabic language, and computer applications. Currently, he teaches Arabic 1 to 8th grade students and computer application and keyboarding from students in the 4th to 8th grade. He graduated from Sana'a University in 1992 with a bachelor's degree in English. In 1998, he obtained his master's degree in bilingual bicultural education from Wayne State University. He completed a specialist degree in instructional technology in 2005. 3 years later, he earned another specialist degree in general administration and supervision. Later on, he earned his 5th endorsement in teaching Arabic language. He owes his success to focusing in education, and he hopes others will recognize that and climb the ladder of education and lifting oneself and others. Please help me in giving another round of applause to Mr. Ahmed. I know we did this earlier, but we like to stress on the importance of teachers, so at this moment, I'd ask that all teachers in the room stand to be recognized. Thank you for all that you do for students on a daily basis. Next up, I'm going to call AAYSP member Bilal Sufi to help present the Community Award.
For this year's Community Award recipient, we will have Murtada Ubaid. Mr. Ubaid was born and raised in Yemen. Mr. Ubaid was born and raised in Yemen. He immigrated to the United States at the age of 13 in 1997. He joined his family that had been living in Hamtramck, Michigan since they migrated to the U.S. in 1990. During high school, he faced many challenges that came with being a first-generation immigrant. He embraced the challenges and learned to adapt to his new way of life and preserve his culture. His high school experience motivated him to become more active in the community, and as an active teen, he played soccer, boxed, and was involved in the local masjid. He graduated from Hamtramck High School in 2002, and then later on attended Henry Ford College in Davenport University, where he was involved in the Yemeni Student Association and led many projects and events to promote the Yemeni culture and heritage. Murtada was one of the founders of the AAYSP Michigan chapter in 2008 and led many of its projects to promote education and empower youth in finding their educational paths. Murtada is part owner in a family restaurant business. As a father and business owner in Hamtramck, he decided to run for school board. With overwhelming support from the community, he was elected in 2017. Murtada is serving the community as an elected member of Hamtramck Public School Board of Education, as well as a member of many community organizations that focus on education and community organizations. Can I please welcome Mr. Ubaid to the stand? Award recipient of the year. How's everyone doing today? All right. For this year's Youth Impact Award, the recipient is unique. As you know, there is no I in team. For their amount of success, we couldn't just award the individual alone, but the entire committee, the Muslim Youth of the Islamic Center of Detroit, or the MI.USA. Their vision is to become the leaders of Muslim youth programming in North America. How, you might ask? By providing the youth with tools and training needed to be the transformational leaders of tomorrow. With this vision in mind, they have within the last 2 years made many notable achievements, such as the first youth committee with a mental wellness dedicated team, consistent programming for countless fundraisers, including one for Yemen, which raised over $100,000, a 5K marathon for Palestine that's done annually, candidate forums, and career expos for students. But for every successful team, there is a successful leader. This leader in particular stays behind the shadows of success. He is there for the youth in times of need, and there as an older brother for advice. Not only does he encourage you to be strong and chase your dreams, but is willing in any way possible to help you achieve them. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in awarding Mr. Khalid Al-Mauri and Mahmoud Salam, leader of the MI.USA. You played a big part tonight, but don't worry. The next person I am introducing is an amazing student. She's a senior at Edsel Ford and the Dearborn Center for Math, Science, and Technology, or DCMST. Attending DCMST sparked her interest in technology and nurtured it. She received opportunities to serve as president in their student council, intern with car manufacturers, and help with their coding club. She will be attending Harvard University in the fall to study biomimetic engineering in hopes of continuing to incorporate STEM into her academic career. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the podium Student of the Year, Marwa Al-Ba'dani.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to start off by saying how grateful I am to be here among you all today. It isn't every day that our whole community gathers for such a positive occasion. And as I look around, I see so many familiar faces, old teachers, friends, neighbors, and to you all I say, thank you for being a part of my life up to this point. Dave Ramsey once said, where you are today is the sum of every choice you've ever made. And here we are today, gathering the fruits of our labor. Teachers, students, parents, and sponsors, we should all be proud of our choices right now because we are celebrating the advancement of our community for members of all ends of the spectrum. I'm honored to have received the title of AAYSP Student of the Year and want to assure everyone that it is more a reflection of our community than it ever could be about my personal academic feats. Ever since I was a preschooler at Salina, I've always been surrounded by the most supportive faculty. I went in completely clueless on the English language, but every single step of the way, I was encouraged and motivated and expected to reach my full potential. It wasn't until high school that I realized that isn't always the case and that some people may have a boxed up set of expectations for you not to surpass if you don't meet the profile. Fortunately for me, I was always surrounded by a community that didn't stand for that. I was lucky enough to never have been pressured to the notion of reaching for the bare minimum from my parents, who always sacrificed comfort for even the mere possibility of success. My brother, for always choosing heavier course loads than required to ensure his success, and my peers, for always overachieving beyond their potential to reach great triumphs. Shout out to my DCMST people. Everything I consider to be achievement today was incited by the people surrounding me. I was lucky enough to grow around such extraordinary company, and I believe that has played a major role in where I'm standing today. My first taste of STEM even is due to a science fair I completed in middle school, where I had the pleasure of receiving guidance from AAYSP members themselves. So again, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm humbled to receive this title today, and I have faith that like every honor I've received before this will be a push for me to advance in my future, where I can just hope to leave a mark on this community that has left on me. Thank you.
Sorry, Umaro, I think you forgot your award.
Seriously, I'm very happy to see that such great achievements from amongst our youth. Sorry. Okay, so we have Adil Mosif, who's going to be introducing our Administrator of the Year award. Please welcome Adil.
Thank you, Raja. It's always a pleasure to present an award to an extraordinary person whom I've got to work with over the years. MI.USA grew up in the south end of Dearborn, the place where he still calls home. He graduated from my own alma mater at Fortson High School and earned his associates at Henry Ford College and his bachelor's and master's from Wayne State University. He spent about 3 years in physical therapy before transitioning into education to his passion were in the classroom and administration, building relationships with students, where he enjoys that the most. He looks most fondly at the years at Stout under the leadership of the great late Imad Fadlallah, where he learned the essence of education, motivating students to achieve the highest levels, providing them with skills and social support to help them achieve. And if you've met Abe, he's always smiling, always cracking jokes here and there, and always has a cheerful personality. So we award him today for his extensive and his leadership at Dearborn Public Schools as the athletics director. He's unfortunately was unable to make it today due to him being in a conference, but we have two of his children, I believe, Jamil and Alay, and we have his boss, Dr. Maleko, so they'll be able to receive his award. So thank you to him. Jamil and Alay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hadia Mashor, and I'm here today accepting this award on my father's behalf, who couldn't be here today but has left us with a few words. Good evening, everyone. I extend my warmest greetings to the AAYSP, distinguished guests, and to all others in attendance tonight. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person, but please know that I'm most definitely with you in spirit and beyond honored to be recognized by one of the most genuine, respectful, and gracious organizations that we have in our community. This is definitely not something that I imagined or saw coming, but the fact that students are involved in blessing me with this honor is most rewarding. The late Imam Fadlallah gave me the opportunity to teach in 1999. What a blessing that was. Out of college, I was doing what I set out to do for a long time. I was able to teach students and learn from them at the same time. Sure, other jobs may garner more fame or allow me to earn more money, but the ability to serve is life's greatest reward. Like the late champ Muhammad Ali stated in 1978, service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. My service seems to have found a place in the lives of many people throughout many different cultures, and I'm humbly grateful for that. So I thank the AAYSP both for their continued service and for this wonderful award. Best wishes to you all, Abraham Ashore, Athletic Director of Student Services and Athletics.
Thank you, Eva Schroeder and his daughter, for that wonderful speech. First, I'd actually like to recognize some elected officials in the room. Hussein Berri from Dearborn Public Schools Board of Education. And Malik Saif from Melvindale Public Schools Board of Education. And then I'd like to also recognize Dr. Maleko, who takes a lot of stuff. All right, next up we have Anissa Sahuba, who is truly a champion for the youth in our community. She's serving as the Youth and Education Director at Access. She will be introducing our keynote speaker for the night, so please welcome Anissa.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I also wanted to congratulate AAYSP for their 9th Gala. I remember when you first started over 9 years ago, and it's truly a grassroots effort. I remember how intentional they were about being inclusive and making sure that they had parents involved, school faculty, the leadership of schools, and most importantly, the youth. Over the years, I've been really, really impressed with how you've been able to mobilize the youth to help you do this work. And we all know all of the skills learned along the way, teaching them all about advocacy and public speaking and getting involved, looking at life outside of your community. So I really wanted to congratulate all of you on that. And then what you also didn't hear when they were talking about, all of the work that AAYSP does is all of the work that they do with parents too, teaching them, how to be more involved in their children's academics, how to advocate for them, their rights, and really helping them navigate those efforts. So really, we all commend you for that work. And I also wanted to thank everyone who's here on behalf of AAYSP. I work with a lot of districts, and having districts work so closely with community-based organizations and being so accepting and realizing that it truly takes a village, right? I mean, we hear that a lot, but it really does. To have the sort of impact that we want to have on these kids really takes all of our efforts. So, so thank you for everyone who's here tonight. The last thing that I wanted to say before I introduce our keynote is, I do thank you for that tribute to Brian Whiston. He was truly a visionary and a friend, most importantly. And he was also the one who first started having community meetings with AAYSP and all of the other parent groups in the city. And he was he was a man of his word. I was so impressed when he would come to these monthly meetings. I rarely saw him taking notes, but he rarely forgot to follow up. We lost a visionary, we lost a friend, but I think the best thing that we can do to honor his legacy and to carry on that vision is to continue doing the sort of thing that we're doing tonight, coming together for a common goal. So now I'd like to introduce someone really special. Anissa Muzenna, our keynote speaker for this year. She was chosen for her remarkable accomplishments. Her achievements in the field of business and manufacturing are truly extraordinary, and we believe that her story carries lessons and hope that can be passed on to our youth here today. She's accomplished so much over her career, and it was somewhat challenging trying to narrow down what I wanted to say. because she's had quite a journey, and we'll have her talk about that journey in her own words. And how that journey began in 1993 when she joined a struggling company, and where she took this company 25 years later, making it the successful operation it is today. Her passion, strong work ethic, one that she attributes to her mom, and ability to help each of her 40 employees, many of whom are women, grow not just personally but professionally, is what led to the success of that company. Her genuine interest in not just growing her company, but in mentoring other women in all levels of manufacturing at nationwide conferences through her role as a board member on an astounding 4 boards. A lot of you are on boards, and I can't imagine how difficult it is being on board and being so active, as well as mentoring high school students on career options in manufacturing. And all of this did not go unrecognized. In 2017, Anissa received the prestigious STEP, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Production Award. This award recognizes women who demonstrate excellence in leadership in their careers and represent all levels of the manufacturing industry, from factory floor to administrative levels. Anissa's story was especially inspiring to us because her background is very similar to many of our backgrounds, including my own. Her parents came from Yemen about 49 years ago, and even through the challenges of navigating life, they were still able to succeed and to inspire her to succeed as well. And she was able to overcome barriers and stereotypes and to thrive not only as a female business owner, but in manufacturing, which we all know is dominated by men. And we were also impressed with Anissa's global impact, which includes humanitarian assistance and post-disaster relief. She has spent weeks providing relief and assistance throughout the U.S. with the American Red Cross and abroad, including her homeland of Yemen. With that, please help me give a warm welcome to Anissa.
السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد. I'm gonna move around if that's okay. 11 years old is when I started manufacturing, and I was honored to be part of that. But before I was 11 years old, that woman right there, this never gets old, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again. Marwa, you hit it on the nail. The parents. It is up to us as parents to allow our children to succeed. This woman came in to America in 1969, immediately got pregnant with me. Do the math. So she came to this country, and my father was a machinist. He worked in a machine shop. He was a sunless grinder, and he was a busboy. For the record, I'm more proud of my father for being a busboy than I am for a machinist or a business owner later in his career. Because he was a busboy so he could provide for his family in Yemen. He was a busboy to make sure that we ate well, but he wasn't able to provide enough. So he came home one day and asked my mother, "Wa bint Yusuf, shatishtakali laha sawq ash-shughul? Would you work if I found you a job?" And she was like, "You mean like bring home money and provide for my family?" And he said yes. So she worked at one of the dirtiest, nastiest factories you will ever see. Thomas Production was the name of the company. They were racists. The owner treated her badly, but she didn't care. She didn't care at all because she was taking a bus and she knew to come down with the red building, take another bus, and come down when there's a mailbox. And she went to work and earned an income and immediately got a raise. Mind you, this woman came from Yafa, never held a pen, let alone got an education. This woman is my mentor. This woman is my inspiration. How can I not succeed? So, 11 years old, my parents decide to open up a machine shop. My father goes to the auction, buys a bunch of grinders, sunless grinders, gives my brothers one each, gives me desks and sandpaper. Sand those desks, that's what he said. I was 11 years old and I wanted a grinder and I wanted to be just like my brothers. And he said no. When I was 13 years old, he agreed. He put a speaker out in the shop so I could hear the phone ring and hop over the bundles and answer the phone. But in between, I got to rent a machine. And did I run that machine? I wanted to prove that I could do it just as good as my brothers, if not more. So that's what I did. And then, at the ripe age of 23, I don't want to make this really long, so I'm going to kind of skip through everything, but point out that my father, as much as he did and as hard as he worked, he was limited. I was a girl. I was a girl. And because I was a girl, I'm not going to have the same responsibilities as my brothers. I was a girl, so I'm not going to have the same benefits as my brothers. But when I was 23 years old, I had 3 of the top 10 customers. I was in charge of payroll and receivables and payables. My father knew one thing about me. He taught me amana. And alhamdulillah for that, because that was my backbone of my future. That's what I held on to, and that's how I became so respected in the community. And so at age 23, there was an issue, like many times. And one of the employees was a male. One of the employees was a male, and I asked him to do something. To be honest with you, I don't even remember what that was. And he went to my father and said to my father, "She's not my boss." And my father agreed with him. My uncle was already in my ear asking me to leave my dad's company to go work with him. I never thought I would, but I did. And tenacity, perseverance, and hard work in the last 25 years, I have been successful in breaking those barriers, walking into boardrooms and getting that double look like I'm not supposed to be there. But I belong. I belong there, and I deserve to be there. And not because I'm a woman, not because I'm Yemen descent, and not because I'm a hijabi, but because I bring a skill and knowledge, and I am confident in who I am. And that, if you take anything tonight, be confident, be accepting of who you are when you walk in those rooms. Whether it's a boardroom, your job, or getting fries at McDonald's. Wherever you go, put your head up high and know you have a wonderful heritage. I wish the Chicago community was as organized and professional as Ragih and Saif and AAYSP. I am so proud of this community. I've always loved Michigan because of the family, the Fadak family. My parents and their parents have been longtime friends, so I come and visit, and I hear about them getting educations, where in Chicago it's not really that common. So I applaud the organization, I applaud the mentors, the teachers, the administration. I applaud you all, but I mostly applaud the parents. But I ask that ya بنات اليمن, بنات يمن الأصيل, لا تنسين الشرف, لا تنسين الدين, امسكن شرفكن والدين. الكل الكل غير المسلمين بدهم يخربون علينا. في ناس طيبين وفي ناس مش طيبين. I ask that the Yemeni girls hold on to their honor, hold on to their religion, their faith. When your father and mother teach you that from a young age, do not replace your deen with a diploma. That said, parents, treat your girls like you treat your boys. Because if you ask my father one thing, one regret he has is letting me walk out that door. He comes to my company and he's so proud of what I made of myself. And he talks about me all the time. But every once in a while he's like, هذا خالش خشله عليش. And I said, well, you had me. But he understands and he respects me, and I honor him for teaching me manufacturing. And the only reason I am as successful as I am and have been to where I've been is because of his hard work. Him and my mother together. They worked so hard and they wanted the best for their children. That said, now, I accept this award and I accept the honor of being here, but it's really honorable to see someone like Marwa come up here and applaud her parents. And so, I thank Marwa's parents, and I ask them to talk to other parents and lead the way. Just like these mentors got up, parents need mentors too. Tell them that. Tell them how proud you are of your daughter. And I love that you're going into STEM because I'm in manufacturing and you'll be an engineer and we can work together. Inshallah. So, I just also wanted to say that being here really is an honor. Being part of this community, being a Yemeni American is an honor. And find your niche. Find what you love to do and do it well. Persevere, work hard, and nothing is going to be handed to you. And when I went to Washington, D.C., and we had a group of a lot of women in the room, and I got up and took the mic and I spoke, and they looked at me and they said, at first, do you need a translator? And I said, no, do you? So I proudly represent Yemeniyat in manufacturing. We need more. We need more. And this is what America looks like. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm gonna start by recognizing two more people who I really love. Sheikh Hamoud Afif from the American Muslim Society. And then a Sheikh and Dr. Abdul Hamid Salim from Islamic Center of Israel. Recipients have been waiting for this. For the time we've all been waiting for. We are going to announce the scholarship recipients. We will be announcing each scholarship recipient along with their sponsor. In case there isn't a sponsor, we will have somebody on their behalf, and I will let you know who that is. Let's start with the first student. Is going to be Abdul Rahman Shuish from Ford High School. Next, Aruba will be representing Najib Abdelwish. And then please both join us at the stage. And our next recipient is Abdul Rahman Yahya from Ford High School. And Saif will be on behalf of our sponsor, Najib Abdelwish. Abdul Rahman Yahya. sorry, he's not here. We'll do, next person is Hussein Saeed from Fordham High School. And, on behalf of Hani Hussein, our sponsor, our next recipient is Ali Al-Gabri from Fordham High School. Ibrahim Nasser will be on behalf of Farmore Pharmacy. Our next recipient is Aliyah Kassim from Universal Academy. And on behalf of another wholesale, our sponsor Adib will represent them. Our next recipient is Amran Al-Toba from Hamtramck High School. Also, Adib representing another wholesale. Our next recipient is Diana Saeed from Universal University. Diana Saeed from Universal Academy, and Adib will be representing another wholesale. Our next recipient is Dua Saleh from Wayne State University. And representing another wholesale will be Mr. Lee. Our next recipient is Ibrahim Mus'ad from Edsel Ford High School. And our sponsor will be Dr. Hussein Haredi. On his behalf will be Ayad al-Shahati. Our next recipient is Hood Mashra from Fordham High School, and representing Dr. Hussein Haredi will be taking over. And our next recipient is Malak Al-Masna from Fordham High School. And he actually will be representing Rocket Kids Academy. That was our former president of the school. And our next recipient is Mrs. Harvard, Marwa Al-Ba'dani from Edsel Ford High School. Ms. Elisa, could you please join us to represent our sponsor of AAYSP? Our next recipient is Muhammad Ali Quraish from Melvindale High School. Our sponsor is Dr. Hussein, Dr. Mustafa Hashim, and representing him will be Mr. Ali. Our next recipient is Muna Al-Qadri from Hamtramck High School. our sponsor, Malik Al Kebab, will have Murtada. Along with all the other sponsors, are you going to join us on stage? Our next recipient is Noor Ahmed Al Zubayri from Edsel Ford High School. Our sponsor is Greenland Market, and on their behalf will be Ibrahim Al Darwish. Al Wajih, sorry. Ms. Ruji, our next recipient is Noor Maslati from Islamic International Academy. And our Islamic Relief representing is going to be Sahuba Al-Hanuti, sorry. Our next recipient is Lihab Ahmed from Universal Academy. And Modella family is the sponsor, so we'll have Nabah Al-Muthalla. Nabhan, sorry, Nabhan. Is Nabhan here? Our next recipient is Salma Duais from Great Lakes Cyber Academy, and also Nabhan will be our sponsor. Our next recipient is Salwa Amar from the Ikhlas Training Academy. Our sponsor is Ghaib Naji, and on behalf of him will be Ibrahim Al-Kawhali. I'm on roll. Or Kareem. Our next recipient is Sara Saleh from Universal Academy. On behalf of our sponsor, Mursala Ahmed RPH, is going to be Kathy Ahmed. Kathy Ahmed? We'll have Mr. Adib representing. Our next recipient is Sara Zindani from the Ikhlas Training Academy, and also representing Mursala Ahmed RPH will be Mr. Adib. Our next recipient is Sara Nasir Yahya from Melvindale High School. Our sponsor is Dr. Bassam Ali from DDS Smile Dental. Our next recipient is Tahani Al-Mujahid from Edsel High School. And our sponsor, on behalf of our sponsor, is going to be Ahmed, or, okay, Saif Al-Bali. Our last recipient, but not least, is Wala Ceylan from Henry Ford Early College. And our sponsor is Islamic Center of Detroit, and we have Jabir. Aisha Jabir. Congratulations, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to thank everybody for joining us, especially our sponsors and donors. We will, okay, so now we'll be serving the food. I hope you all enjoy it.
Gala, say hi to him from all of us.